As soon as Viren laid eyes on her, he was all in.
There was almost like a bright light shining on her, and there was this voice in my head that this might be the one.
Kriti, not so much.
My head's telling me I'm gonna get kidnapped. And we were going to college in Noida.
Uttar Pradesh, bhai.
I was like, nahi, this is not happening.
Kriti and Viren Barman are that cute Instagram influencer couple. Are you ever having a fight and thinking in the back of your head, like, this is gonna be a great reel later?
Always. He's always got the mind of a director. So sometimes he's sitting in the middle of an argument. He's already made like a reel around that. And I'm like, let it happen.
They're incredibly different people.
He does not like my Excel spreadsheets.
I love them. I just don't understand them.
And yet, whenever life tried to pull them apart, they always found their way back to each other.
If there's a fight, one person wins, automatically both of you lost.
Yes. Fast forward 14 years later and 4 years of marriage, how do you keep the spark alive?
I find that question so absurd.
They met going head to head in a debate in their college.
When we went in for the debate, I see this handsome man walking in. This really good looking guy is being paired up against me. So I was definitely floored.
And their love story may be even more dreamy.
She makes me a better person. It's like she's got the Midas touch for my life. Like anything she touches turns to gold.
Thank you for setting extremely unrealistic standards for the rest of us. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
How long have you been married for?
And I laugh because I forget every time.
No, but that's not without reason, because we have multiple dates. There's a date when we started dating.
Yeah.
There's a different date for when we got married, a different date for our roka, and in India you're supposed to remember all of these and celebrate it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You need to write it down.
I've got my
Please don't give her
reminders
ideas.
going.
Yeah, we have an Excel sheet for pretty much everything.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I took the time and I calculated it and I got it right. It's been 4.5 years that we've been married, but we were dating for about 9 years before that. So a total of, I would say, 13, 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really impressive.
In today's economy, yeah. I know, I get it.
Kind of turn back the clock to 14 years ago when you first met. Paint a picture for us.
He's the storyteller. So I'm going to let him take this
Seems
one.
like there's a lot of delegating happening over here. I love this dynamic.
Management style.
The first time we actually met was in college. And before we even met, I had seen her, but she had no idea that I even existed. I saw her at our college freshers, where she was in her first year, I was in my third year. I saw her on the stage. I immediately fell in love. And as a joke, I told my friends, मैं इसी से शादी करूँगा, मेरे इसी से ही बच्चे पैदा होंगे, मेरी पूरी जिंदगी इसी के साथ बीतेगी, which basically is a funny line from this movie called Salam Namaste. So I said that as a joke, but you know how they say, दिन में एक बार सरस्वती ज़बान पे बैठती है, and that's exactly what happened. And here we are 13.5 years later. But the day we actually got introduced to each other, there was a debate in our college.
Well, I was an enthusiastic fresher and he was in his third year. So his friends were like, say something, save us, because he's good with debates.
Oh.
And yes, I regret that now because I'm like, I could have won all of those fights.
Yeah, it's not like I was right at any point of time. It's just that I'm good at debating.
Yeah,
clearly.
exactly.
When we went in for the debate, I see this handsome man walking in a campus in Noida. And I was like, this really good looking guy is being paired up against me. And that was pretty awesome. So I was definitely like floored. I just tried not to show it or to do something about it. And it was an impromptu thing. So there was just a topic given to us, 30 seconds, and we had to speak about it. Animated,
there was just
fiery,
instantly chemistry.
Yeah, there were sparks. People were enjoying it because then they let it stay on for like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it just so happened that they made both of us win. So my theory is that they just wanted to keep the reputation of the college intact and not say that a first year has defeated a third year. They just wanted to save face.
No, but clearly,
Because otherwise you would have won. No question about it.
it was basically a compromise. So they had to make one first year win as well, so that they would eventually participate in both things.
Is what you tell yourself to go to bed at night.
Sure.
Exactly what I tell him.
And the first of many compromises I'm sure that both of you have made throughout. Focusing back on, that very moment when you did lay eyes upon her, did you really think it was a joke when you identified Kriti and said, you know what, that's my wife? What was actually going through your head?
I know it sounds really cliche and almost like I'm making this up and it's a story, but this is actually what happened in my brain. There was almost like a bright light shining on her. And I know this sounds like I'm making this up, but it really wasn't.
It does.
I don't know if it was the sun, the clouds parting in a certain way and just like shining the beam of light on her. I don't know what it was. But at that moment, I just felt like there was something different about her. And there was this voice in my head, like this feeling that I should pursue this. I don't know who this person is. I don't know anything about her. It's not that I just thought she's pretty. Of course she is. She's beautiful even to this date, and she always will be. It's just the way she carried herself and just the aura, the presence that she had that made me feel like this might be the one. And I was right. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether or not I saw it in a certain way. I was right. So
what was your next course of action?
Unfortunately, at the time, we didn't really have anything as accessible as Instagram, where you could just look someone up, slide into the DMs. We did have Facebook back then. So after the debate, I tried to speak to her through Facebook. When I did ask her out, she just turned me down every single time. I think I asked her maybe 4 times before she finally said yes. And all 4 times, she just told me straight up that she doesn't know me. So there wouldn't be a reason for her to go out with me like that. I actually admired that about her because it shows that she reserves her judgment and she actually wants to get to know someone, the content of their character, before actually giving them an opportunity.
It might seem weird to say no because the whole idea of going out with someone is to get to know them, right? So how else do you get to know the person? And that's where he was coming from. But I guess my thought was a little different. We were going to college in Noida.
Uttar Pradesh, bhai.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
So-
really long back. So.
And he's being nice in his head and he thinks he's like asking someone out and we're gonna go. In my head's telling me I'm gonna get kidnapped. He's gonna take me in a car and lock the doors.
and Sunsan Jaga, you know.
I was like, nahi, this is not happening. I knew him enough to say, I still want to be friends with you. And I still want to talk to you. I just don't want to get into a car with you yet.
One doesn't even necessarily know themselves that well when you're in college, right? As you got to know each other, you went out on dates. How did you evaluate your compatibility as partners?
So when we started dating, I was 18 and he was 20 and I did not evaluate anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure of anything. It was just, we're friends, now we're dating, we like each other, let's see where it goes. And maybe that's why it took us so long to get married.
Yeah.
But eventually, when we did get to the point where we were thinking about getting married, I had to evaluate who I was as a man and set certain targets for myself from a financial perspective, emotional perspective as well, my own personal growth. I wanted to be a certain way before we get married, just because I wanted to be able to give her the best life once she's with me, and now she's as much a responsibility of mine as I am of hers. So I think if you're really, really young, you can get away with a lot, but if we were to meet today, then those standards would be very different. She would definitely have those spreadsheets to evaluate me. And I feel like I'd still go with my gut a little bit. Yeah, I think we just got lucky because we met so young.
Maybe you got lucky, or maybe you chose to continue to grow in a direction that would lead to each other. You mentioned that you sought to elevate yourself and to become ready and in some ways worthy of showing up for Kriti, like as a husband, as a partner. What specifically did you do and how did you do that to become qabil of someone so stunning and exceptional?
You're too kind.
No, she's right. They were more about my personal growth and not about what she expects from me. And like you said, I wanted to be qabil of her, and it's never something that she put on me. Those are never standards that she set for me. So even when we met, that's when I realized, oh, so this girl doesn't smoke, she doesn't drink, she's not even ready to go out on a date with me. She is just at a different level. So that's when I actually gave up smoking and drinking. I started to focus a little more on my studies, and I started to think about, okay, once I graduate, what do I really want to do? And those are the things that I realized the direction that I want to go in, to be able to pair up with her and just make her want to be with me.
I feel like there's some level of misconception among people where they feel like they're just people meant to be together. He's my soulmate and we're great together, and I'd love to believe that. And I do, but it doesn't mean it automatically takes away the effort from a relationship. The effort goes beyond that, into the marriage, into the relationship. Before we even started dating, right? We hadn't gone on the first date and he already left smoking. And he didn't tell me about it. It wasn't a way to be like, oh, I've left smoking, so now you need to go out with me. I had no idea until he told me like months later, I think. So just that constant effort from his end to understand me, to try to make the effort. And I think that's what we've always tried to do.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fights, but the whole idea is like our intention towards each other is pure, is good. And I think we're far from perfect. We have very real problems.
She's perfect.
Oh, of course. So kind. He's a very creative person. I'm more practical. I'm not creative at all. Kind of defines everything that we do. Because he's creative, he wants to focus on 10 things at the same time, and I can only do one. I'm terrible at multitasking. He does not like my Excel spreadsheets.
I love them. I just don't understand them. I think we're completely the opposite when it comes to the emotional dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I am more practical there.
Yeah.
And she's a little more emotional. With time, we understood each other a little better just because we made that effort to consciously communicate and we recognized where we were going wrong. And just leaving the ego at the door, stepping into the room, blocking yourselves in and just figuring it out eventually got us to the right place.
So I think that's really beautiful that you were able to find that within each other and to find the harmony and the complementary traits. Like it feels like so lucky, like a flash in the pan, right? That you guys just found each other in college and now all of these things have fallen into place. But I know that that takes so much work behind the scenes and that there's so much intentional decision making along the way to enable a dynamic like this to thrive.
So in the first year of our marriage, we did have way more conflicts than we do now, right? And that's because a lot of the times when you're angry, you don't want to hear the other person. You're only hearing so that you can speak. When you start to let go of that, when you start to speak after listening to them, after seeing and realizing what they mean, and really putting yourself in their shoes, that's when you realize nobody's wrong. And any fight that you're having, you're both losing. One person winning, it just means the relationship is losing. So when we realized that, and I know it sounds a little filmy and a little dramatic.
No, but it's true. If there's a fight,
But
one
yeah.
person wins, automatically both of you have lost.
Yes.
So we've
Yeah.
had fights that have taken days to resolve, but off late, like the last 2 years, it's not that we don't fight, but when we do, we're able to resolve it much quicker because we have like that spur of moment where we're angry, but then within the next 10 minutes, we're like, it's okay. Nobody means harm. We don't want to spend the next 2 days not talking to each other. So let's be done with it.
Too inconvenient. Like we have stuff planned. Let's get on with it.
I need to know what's there for dinner. When are we going out? What do I need to wear?
awkward हो जाएगा भाई. Time नहीं है. No, but I feel what you're getting at is like a deep underpinning of mutual empathy, mutual respect, and the willingness to suspend your attachment to your own ego for a moment and your attachment to your own framework of how you view the world and say like this person may have a totally different way of viewing the situation and me being open to accepting that reality too.
I think you're beautiful at summing up
thank you.
the situation.
I appreciate that. Maybe I should have gotten into debate in college. I wouldn't be married by now. Again, such wonderful role models for so many of us. But looking back when you guys were dating and you guys were young and you were just in a relationship, what was a moment that it turned from a relationship from college to this is the one?
I feel like I'm going to come across as such a filmy guy.
Maybe you're a
just
filmy
moment.
guy.
Maybe I am.
You
Maybe this is the
are.
day when I realized.
You're beautifully dramatic and I love it, and you're emotional.
I was in Pune for my graduation ceremony. I was sitting with my friends. We were sitting at the Hard Rock Cafe in Pune. And at that moment, all I could think of was how I wanted to enjoy this moment with Kriti, even though I was with my best friends at the time. That's the moment when I realized that this has turned into what I thought was the idea of love to true love. We started to talk about getting married, and this was, I think, 4 to 5 years into our relationship. And at the time, I knew that I wanted to marry her, but I didn't know whether or not I was ready for it. It's how she interacted with my family, how she was with my mom, how she was with my dad. And even though I would get angry with my parents once in a while, how she would be able to handle that situation. That's what made me realize that this is definitely the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, because she makes me a better person. It's like she's got the Midas touch for my life. Like anything she touches turns to gold.
That's so beautiful.
We're rich in love.
You're rich in life. You're rich in love.
Even though we're such opposite people, it was very important that our core values are similar. And I think that's why we got along so well, which is why the opposites turned more into attraction. And it was more intrigue, it was more interest, because I hadn't seen someone so extreme and so expressive. Like even right now, the way he expresses, I struggle to express like that because in my family, we do not. His family is very expressive, they're very emotional, and they're not afraid of showing it. And then we're the complete opposites there as well.
Do you have any relationship rituals?
Yes, I mean, I kiss her good morning every day. I kiss her good night every night. Even if she's not there, let's say she's traveling, I still kiss her pillow good night. And it's
That's
really
so
cheesy.
cute. Yeah, that is very
But
filmy.
it's not
Like
e-
you're
it's
really
not
doubling down on that.
But he has to kiss me good night and good morning because he sleeps before me and he wakes up before me.
Anchoring our relationship on just a few physical gestures like that, I feel is so important. It could be something as simple as just saying I love you to your significant other. That doesn't work for us because we think that's cheesy. But just the physical language and physical touch as well
for me.
I feel is really important. I've seen a lot of older couples get awkward with age. People, when they cross, let's say 40, 50, they don't even kiss each other anymore. And I just feel that's really sad. And it's only because they don't practice that ritual of just being intimate with each other.
You guys have been together a really long time. How do you keep the spark alive in the rush of day-to-day life?
I find that question so absurd. So absurd, because I feel like there's not enough time in this lifetime. We don't live more than 100 years. Most people don't make it past 70. The first 20 years of your life, you're just figuring things out. The last 10 years of your life, unfortunately, don't turn out very well for most people. Health issues, this, that. So if you're lucky, you've got maybe 40 good years. What's 40 years? You're working half of the day anyway. So that's maybe 20 years. You're sleeping another 8 hours every night. So there's barely any time. So how could you get bored of someone? How could you get bored and lose your spark when there's no time? Most people take for granted the time that they have, the relationship that they have, and it's only when they lose it that they realize it was so precious. But if you remind yourself every now and then, there's only a limited time that you have on this planet, especially with the people you love, that's when even the mundane becomes fun.
You're right. Like, why should the spark ever die out?
I think it's also very important to not go on autopilot. And it's very easy to go on autopilot. And I feel like that's where a lot of the issues happen. Not just with regards to a relationship, but everything, right? You have regrets because you're on autopilot. You're not being conscious or intentionally doing certain actions. If you're on autopilot, you don't value the other person's presence. You're not really living in the moment.
What do you think is the biggest challenge? Why are people today struggling to find that partner?
People feel like they don't have enough time. Almost like these milestones that people have designated for themselves. And if you're not there at a specific age, you're basically made to feel like you're losing out, which is why people don't want to spend enough time getting to know someone. If you just get to know a person first and don't go with the intention of trying to fall in love with someone or trying to find your partner, I feel like maybe that is the change that people need to finally find someone.
We have been out of the dating game forever, right? So I don't know if it's true or not, but at least from my friends, whatever we hear, whatever we see, we're always trying to take out faults with the other person. And we always place ourselves on a pedestal, but then understand that the other person's coming at you with that same intention, with the same attitude, with the same ego. So if you want to meet someone in the middle, you have to kind of let your guard down. You have to be able to see what you're doing wrong as well, as opposed to just being like, swipe, swipe, swipe.
And on such cursory evaluation, like on so little data.
Right.
In fact, if we hadn't met and if we were on, let's say, a dating platform, maybe we wouldn't have swiped. Maybe because of how things are, also Instagram, social media, everything's very
availability
fast.
of people, you know, you have access to way more people all the time. There is
Exactly.
the sense of, if this doesn't work out, there's always another.
Next.
But
Yeah.
you would assume that's a good thing.
That's the paradox, isn't it?
Maybe you would have gone on a first date. And by the way, our first date was,
Horrible.
I do not want to say horrible.
It was challenging.
It was challenging because I'm an introvert and so is he. I was also young, naive, and I did not react to that well.
The first date that we went on was at Hard Rock, and I picked that spot because they, at the time, had the best chicken wings. And I wanted to get my hands dirty. I wanted her to get her hands dirty.
Classic first date activities. Yeah.
So I wanted to do that just so that we would let our guards down and we would just be a little more relaxed, but completely backfired because she didn't even take a bite. And I'm the one who's sitting there and eating chicken wings, getting my hands dirty.
Bhai, protein complete to karna hai, dekho.
I was pretty silent through the date and I was like, this is not happening again, right? Because he tried to make conversation. I just was too much in my own head. I was responding in monosyllables, etc., right?
No, but then that's when I realized that she is different. And that's not a bad thing. It's bizarre to think that the other person would be exactly like you when you're out there to find something else.
Yeah. You don't want your clone.
It would be so narcissistic, for example, to want to date yourself.
Yeah.
Why would you want the other person to be exactly like you?
Or exactly like the person you had imagined in your head that you want, you know?
Right.
Like we have very rigid ideas, a very rigid checklist. Ki aise se hoga, to I'll marry him, right? But then you're shutting out so many opportunities that way. You all live part of your life on social media and you depict so many different aspects of your relationship there. How do you decide what to share and what not to share? And how does the fact that you guys do have a business together online impact your internal relationship dynamic? How authentic is the couple that we see online?
I would say very authentic, considering he documents the second that I'm waking up.
Yeah.
And initially, I was just like, this is not okay. Give me a second. I need to fix my hair.
Right.
But it's also about getting used to it. So now I am used to having the camera shoved into my face. He's way more comfortable with the camera than I ever was or could be. I was always very, very camera shy. I still am. I do not like, ironically enough, being in front of a camera. So it was very, very difficult for me initially. And I still feel like we have different lines. And I'll give you an example. He was editing one of his vlogs and he had put in something. And I was like, no, like, it's not okay because this invites a lot of judgment, right? So I was like, maybe it's seen as something that you're showing off and I know you don't mean to. Like, let's cut this out together. So it's very different for him than for me. And I think we're understanding of that. He's also open to cutting things out, putting them in, but very, very organic. Like, everything is exactly how it is in our lives.
You guys don't like, sugarcoat things or really like exaggerate certain things. Thoda bahut to hota
Exaggerate?
hoga.
Yeah, of course. I mean, comedy
Masala.
is exaggeration. Comedy is
Yeah.
exaggeration, and that is the basis of our content. So a lot of things you have to exaggerate.
Yeah.
But most of the content we make, especially on Kiwi Time, we draw it from our real life situations.
I would just like to clarify that the exaggeration is me hitting him with a chappal, which I don't do. There is no domestic violence
Yeah.
happening there.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of beef with the issue that I was always the bad guy. And so if you've seen any of the Kiwi Time videos, I'm always the bad guy. And I was like, this is not okay. Because at one point in time, there's a guy who came up to me and we were in the market and he's like, oh, you're quite mean as a wife. And I'm like, that's the camera, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, can you not be the bad guy sometimes? And he's like, that's domestic violence.
Yeah, we
It does
can't
not
turn
work
it
like that.
around because as soon as
I
you
can't
do,
be
that's not
hitting
funny
you.
anymore.
Yeah, that's
a lot of
trip to the
masala
police
there.
station.
Yeah.
Does it ever blur the lines like between your relationship and your work? Like, are you ever having a fight and thinking in the back of your head, like, this is going to be a great reel later? Does that ever happen?
Always. He's always got the mind of a director.
Yeah.
And he loves direction. So sometimes he's sitting in the middle of an argument or something that's happening and he's already made like a reel around that. And I'm like, let it happen. You've already gone into that mode.
I am guilty of that.
No, but in all seriousness, does that ever become an obstacle or does that get annoying?
Thankfully, we're very open with each other and we do communicate discomfort if it ever happens. And there are lots of scripts that we've written down that in my head might have been funny or in her head would have been funny. But when we, come down to shooting it or even discuss it internally, it doesn't seem that way. And unless it's something that both of us agree on, we don't really go ahead with it.
Gotcha.
To answer the second part of your question around having a business together and if that creates conflict, yes and no. So initially we did have points of contention where I had an idea or he had an idea and we had like a little bit of a back and forth. But I think that's where, again, communicating helps. So we've also understood each other's forte. So for example, he's great at direction. Initially, I'd be like, nahi, but I can do it like this. And because it's uncomfortable to shoot, sometimes you switch off the fan, there's no light, so it's really hot and humid and you just want to get done with it quickly. So he'd be like, just do it and let's just be done with it, right? And then that would create a fight because I'm like, you don't listen to me, etc., etc. Yeah, that's the same thing that happens with every couple, right? But over time, I've realized and seen that whatever he suggested has worked out well. So he knows what he's talking about. So now, even if I have a different perspective, I will first, if he's saying, do it like this, I will just do it like that so that that's done and out of the way. And then if we have time to experiment, etc., I will recommend my way. And that has worked out for us. And he's done the same because I'm focused on, let's say, this ATD things. And I'm like, okay, this needs to be a certain way, or like the background is not okay and I don't want my room to look a certain way. Initially, he would get upset and angry around that, saying like, this is wasting time, let's just be done with it. But now he understands that and takes a step back. So we're able to understand each other's lens and also like what someone's good at, focus on that.
The roles are sort of more defined.
Yeah, more delegated.
Totally. As with any couple who also works together, you end up finding your individual roles professionally.
I think most people give up too soon before figuring it out.
What's your favorite memory that you've spent together?
If we could associate certain emotions with said memories, then I could give you a list. So for example, what's your favorite memory of feeling like you've made it? I think we took a trip to Phuket recently and it was through Kiwi Time. And it's something that we've been working on for so long. So when we were sitting on the beach, all our work was sorted out and we just had a moment to ourselves. That was beautiful. And at that moment, we started to make content again, which was not a great idea, but we just had a couple
जल्दी
of
से
days to
कैमरा
shoot.
निकालो बड़ा अच्छा मोमेंट चल रहा है moment.
Or a special memory from when we met after really, really long. It's again during COVID when we went to City Fort. We hadn't met for a couple of months now. We went to City Fort. There was obviously nobody there because at that time nobody was being active, etc. And we climbed a tree and we went for a really long walk and we just spent hours together. So we have a lot of such really fond memories.
There's also a sense of longing and gratitude. I remember right after we got married, because of my work, I had to go to Australia and I was there for about 2 months. You know, at that point in time, we hadn't been without each other for so long. And because we had just gotten married and just started staying together, that was very new and we were loving it. Cliched, but we didn't want to spend a moment apart. So when I had to go for 2 months, that phase was really difficult. And I remember being so grateful and thankful for having him in my life. And when I came back and when we met, like I remember that like it was yesterday because it was so beautiful.
For those of you who have read Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, he wrote a poem on marriage in which he said, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness." And the story just reminded me of the fact that sometimes it is the spaces, the yearning, the missing that makes the reunion that much more special and memorable. And like as much as we want to spend all our time with our person, the time apart is where love blossoms and grows in a really unique and special way. What's your favorite part about Kriti?
I don't think I can say that on camera.
All right, the G-rated version then.
There's so many things to love, but what really sets her apart is just how giving she is, and not just to me, to everyone around her. She prioritizes everyone's needs over her own. If she truly cares and loves someone, she just gives everything to them.
I hope you're also filling your cup and making sure that you're
I'm there for
fed
that.
and
He makes sure I do that.
Yes.
Because she doesn't. So I'm supposed to step in. I know my role.
As you should, as you should. What's your favorite quality in your husband?
There are quite a few.
Yeah, where do I start?
I know, there's a whole list.
We don't have enough battery in the camera to capture.
Generally feel like women are a little more empathetic than men.
True.
But just the fact that he tries to overcome that and he's always looking out for me, for my needs and being so kind and so open about it. Like just the way he is with my parents, with my family is beautiful because he treats all of them like his own family. It's not like son-in-law, how you see in typical houses. That's very fulfilling because that kindness takes on every aspect. If I'm not feeling well, if I got my period, like the way he takes care of me is so beautiful and I know I'd always be protected with him. And that's very comforting.
Thank you for setting extremely unrealistic standards for the rest of us.
I think it's not even about that. It's that whatever little good qualities you can get, you should nurture them. And whether that's within your relationship, within your family, within your friends, community, you need to protect that. And you need to protect your peace and the peace of the people around you.
And the outlook that you have, right? A lot of the people focus on the negative, and there's a lot of negative things that he can focus on about me as well. But it's the fact that you choose to focus on the positives.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Impossible. It's possible, ugly.
This possible.
Again, very cheesy. Oh my God.
Listen, let's get some wine with this cheese and make it a party. We'll make it a party. Anyways, thank you so much for sharing your guys' story at this moment. We're gonna play a game. How well do you know each other? What is her favorite movie?
Recently, Dhurandhar.
That's so funny. I just don't know why I wouldn't have pinned you as Dhurandhar's biggest fan, but yeah, that's interesting. What's his favorite restaurant?
The Pit. Recently, The Pit. Earlier, Smokehouse.
What is her idea of an ideal vacation?
She wants to go to Barcelona.
Okay.
Spain.
Dope.
That's her ideal vacation.
That's dope. What was she wearing on your first date?
First date, she was wearing a leather jacket. I know what she was wearing on our second date. It was a purple sweater, high neck, full sleeves, right?
He got that right.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Who said I love you first?
He did.
Yeah, I guess that was not a far guess. What color are her eyes?
Brown.
Do you want to say anything more than that?
I'm a guy, so that's all I
He
know.
does not understand
Green brown,
shades.
like a lightish brown.
Really brown.
He doesn't go mahogany.
really brown.
That was all my questions, you guys. Thank you
you.
so
That
very
was fun.
much for your
Thank you.
honesty and for opening up today and being vulnerable with all of us.
Thank you for having us, and I must say you are an excellent host.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Love Notes. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave in the comment section below what questions you'd like me to ask Kriti and Viren the next time they come on the show. We'll see you later. Bye.